always at least one of these things for sale. Sort of a modular saw, I guess you could call it. Hey guys, Dan with Kane Custom Garage. And today I want to take a look at these Stihl 031 chainsaws. I've been sort of dinking around with them lately, so I thought I'd drag them out. Because it seems like these are one of the most popular chainsaws back in the day. And like one of the most common ones that you find around. I don't know how many of these 031s I've found for sale on Facebook, Marketplace. They're right up there with the XL12, the Homelight XL12. It seems like they made millions of those too. But they're just a good, rugged, all-around chainsaw. They made them for like 10 years. I think they made them from like 71 to like 1981, something like that, maybe 84. But yeah, so long run, good design, pretty neat looking old saw too. You know me, it's all about the look, and I like just how simple these are, and the quality of them is really good. So let's sort of take a look at these and see what made them so popular. So here we go guys, the Stihl 031 50cc chainsaw. They're actually like 48 cc's, something like that. Big seller back in the 70s and 80s. I mean, they must have been, because there's like tons of these things out there still. People still using them. I've found quite a few. I think between these and the Homelight XL12, these are probably like one of the most common saws that you'll find around here, at least around here in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, almost, it's funny, you can almost always go on Facebook or Craigslist. There's always at least one of these things for sale. And I mean, for good reason. They're a good saw. They're rugged, you know, reliable, good quality parts. Just a great all-around firewood saw. So yeah, we're sort of going to take a look at how they're built and some of the features, like these, you know, they're 3/8 chain. I always like to see a 20-inch bar on them. That seems to be about perfect. They didn't have much for safety features in the beginning. No handbrake. They did have the operator presence lever where you have to have your hand on it to pull the trigger. But yeah, just a simple, cool saw. Got your air filter box back here, and you just turn that. You can take that off and service your air filter, adjust your carburetor. Yeah, it's basically just like a Zeus fastener off a race car. Whoops. Just twists into the little special screw right there. But yeah, easy to work on. AV mounts. These were always anti-vibe, so that's cool. But yeah, see, they got an impulse line on the bottom of the carb, and then the fuel line on that comes in the top. And the carburetor has a rubber boot, so the carburetor and everything is isolated from the engine vibration. The handle is always rubber mounted. The starter's sort of unique. I like this one that has the early logo on it, which is cool. And they had a few different muffler designs. This one's pretty clean looking. But yeah, they had some that had spark arresters, like that one. Another different design there. Same thing, there's the spark arrestor in that one. And then there's a funky Dan Kane design there. The funky Frankenstein. But yeah, side load on the oil, top load on the fuel. I like the handles on these, the caps and everything are really easy to turn, and that's what's amazing on these Stihl saws. Like, whatever they used for materials was high quality, because I mean, everything, you know, really holds up well over the years. I mean, these saws are, you know, 50 years old like me. And oh, it goes like that. And yeah, I mean, everything is just, even the paint on these things tends to hold up well. I'm not gonna fool with that. Yeah, just cool. Like even the, oh, what was I gonna show you? Even like the, oops, even like the rubber parts, like a lot of the rubber lines and stuff on these saws, the original stuff is still pliable and in good shape. This one's good. They tend to split up here, but you can get this stuff aftermarket, but it's just a testament to whatever they used for materials was good stuff. You know, the rubber lines, the switches, the electronics, although the coils are getting harder to find. But I mean, there's so many of these out there as parts saws, you can still find coils, but yeah, just a great old saw. I love these things. Okay guys, let's take a look at these 031 chainsaws that I have. I got 5 of them here. And so the 031, this red top one, is gonna be the earliest one, I believe. And I guess they made an 030 before the 031. It was just like a 1 year only saw. It was, so it's sort of a rare saw. I'm not sure why they made the 030, but just a progression. But yeah, so they made that 1 year and then they started in with the 031. And yeah, the early ones is more of a reddish color at the top. And of course they're points ignition, pretty simple, no chain brake, no hand guard, nothing like that. So that's the earlier one. And then here's another 031. This one has the hand guard. This one doesn't run, the oiler. Well, it runs, but the oiler's not working, so we need to fix that maybe in a different video. And so this is an earlier one with points. And then the next progression, ones had this embossed lettering in the top cover. Then they switched to these more like these aluminum data plates. And I think this is still a point saw. So yeah, early, getting later, point saw still. And then they switched to electronic. And I'm not sure what year that happened. I'm guessing probably the late 70s, early 80s. Because yeah, they made these saws for 10 years, so. And so yeah, then they went electronic. They have hand guards. And then after that, I guess they actually had a chain brake model, which was the AVQ. The AVE meant electronic, and then the AVEQ was electronic with a chain brake. And I don't have one with a chain brake, but they did make them with a chain brake, I guess. And then here's my weirdo experimental one that I did a video on a while ago. I stacked 2 carbs together just because I thought it would be interesting to see what it did. And see, I split the fuel line, or no, I split the impulse line, and then split the fuel line over here. Then I made a funky pipe for it. I know it comes out the wrong side. Everybody's like, oh, why'd you do that? It's on the wrong side. It's gonna blow on your leg. It was all just for fun, experimental. It sounds cool though. The stacked carbs didn't give it any more power, but it runs. It's sort of interesting. See, I made carburetor linkage for it. Both carburetors move. Just for fun, because yeah, there's so many of these things out there. I had so many parts that I just threw this together, and this one I actually threw together just from parts, because I had this top that I thought was really cool because it has this cool service sticker on it, Mountain Stihl in Helena, Montana. So I thought, oh, I need to put that on a saw, so put that together. So here's some parts and pieces, guys. They're pretty simple to work on. They're sort of a modular saw, I guess you could call it. So you have your engine block with the cylinder on it, and then the fuel tank and the lower handle are all one unit, but you can take them apart. This one's sort of dirty, but and the starter is sort of a unique design. It just sort of sits in there like that. And so yeah, I've made a couple of these saws just out of a load of parts that I had. And so yeah, you just take and put the two halves together like that. And then this is the carburetor box with the impulse line, and then it has a rubber boot here because it's movable with the engines so that the AV mounts work. So that goes there, and then you got your air box, and then the muffler on these is unique because the cylinder's at a 45, so it has to have sort of this long extension on it. And so yeah, the muffler goes like that, and then of course you got your side cover, and then the top goes on, and the throttle linkage just sort of hangs down. But yeah, and then you can throw yourself a saw together. So see, there's your 031 right there. And they have a bunch of different mounts. They had, through the years, they did different AV mounts in the back. Oops, like they had these with they had a rubber mount here on some of them, and then some of them they switched to a solid mount here, and then put the rubber mounts up here. And so yeah, just some little subtle stuff. Little changes in the foot guard, the footrest. But other than that, it's pretty much the same design. But yeah, just a rugged little saw. Nice old beasts. This red top fires right up. I had it running. Come on. Oh, there she goes. Surprisingly, that's the oldest one I have, and I literally didn't do anything to it. Just cleaned it up, and I think I replaced some AV mounts on it, but I didn't touch the carburetor or anything. And this one I got for free. The oiler doesn't work, so we got to fix that. And then here's that one that I put together from parts. So you just give her a choke. Away they go. And I guess the coils are sort of hard to find. Like, if that's the one thing that's getting harder to find, when the coil goes bad, you can't really get a replacement for them. There's a guy on eBay that'll rebuild your coil for, like, it's sort of expensive. I want to say it was like $100 or something. But anyways, you can put electronic chip in them and get rid of the points on the older ones. So that's sort of cool. And then yeah, here's that funky one that I made. Let's see if she'll fire up. Oh yeah, she wants to run. Woo! She's got a crack to her. Easy to work on once you understand how they come together and go apart. Boom, 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 boom. Cool. guys, the Stihl 031s. Great old saw. They made millions of them probably, but they're a good running saw. I've got some earlier videos of them cutting wood and that kind of stuff on my channel, so if you want to see them cutting some wood, just go back and look at some of the older videos of the 031s and check them out. So yeah, that was cool, guys. Thanks for going over them with me. Until next time, we'll catch you later.